Broderick B's Daily Vlogs.
Yep, I must be back in California. Daly City, Westlake area, because last week I finally got to watch Hamilton. And if you watch Hamilton, you saw how he died. And here in Westlake is the official last duel site in the United States. We're here at the Broderick Terry duel site to talk about Hamilton and how barbaric dueling was back in the days. Let's get this started.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Welcome everyone, it's my daily vlog channel, Eric B's Daily Vlogs. Back California. Nice short trip for the birthday weekend up in Reno. Usually we go up to Disneyland, LA, but no, it's not open. So headed up to GSR, Grand Sierra Resort, little resort. Plus had a couple other things I had to get done while I was up there. So decided, let's go enjoy what we can enjoy. Some kind of normality when we were over there. Be able to eat indoors, taking off your mask. Anyways, that's not what I'm here for today. I'm here at the Broderick Terry duel site because if you guys watch Hamilton, you saw how Aaron Burr got all upset over him not becoming the president because Alexander Hamilton decided, I'm not voting for you. I'm not voting for Jefferson. Aaron Burr got all upset, got all upset, challenged Alexander Hamilton to a duel. And back then, dueling was legal. Hamilton's son died the same way because he was trying to restore his dad's name. So dueling was legal, but here was the last, this whole area that I'm at right now was the last official legal duel site in the United States. I've done this vlog a couple times. Ghostober, when I first touched on this area, I vlogged about it, but after watching Hamilton, makes you appreciate that a duel site of 10 paces is still here. It's right in front of me. Let's go check this out. Let's go. Let's go. There's two stones sticking out right there. One on the left, one on the right. Two men who almost kind of the same thing with Hamilton and Burr, how they didn't agree on a lot of things. Terry was against slaverism, where Broderick was pro-slave. They didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. So on September 13th, 1859, they challenged each other to a duel. And spoiler alert, Broderick didn't survive. There's a house over by Fisherman's Wharf where it shows Broderick Terry, or Broderick, didn't survive. You don't know how much this place creeps me out. When I did a vlog here, Ghostober, look around me. You hear the birds, you hear the wind. Right behind me over here, that way, is a golf course. Do you hear horses? When I was here last and I was talking about the exact same thing, I heard rumbling, what sounded like people talking, and I heard horses. Now, if you're gonna go back to 1859 during a duel, that's all they had was horses. So am I hearing ghost sounds of horses from back then? This was the last known barbaric thing, well, you know, official barbaric thing that America did was to duel to the death. So I'm pretty sure there's still some remnants of ghost sounds in here. I'm pretty sure there is. This is the site that Terry stood right here. You can see his name etched right there. And growing up, when you're watching cartoons, you always thought of people starting in the middle, which would be somewhere right here. And then one would walk 10 paces that way, while the other one would walk 10 paces that way. And they would turn around after 10 paces, face each other, and shoot. So in Hamilton, they just stood 10 paces away from each other and turned around and shot. Where in Hamilton, what he told his son, shoot in the air, and poor Hamilton shot in the air, and Aaron Burr, being the untrustworthy person that he was, shot him. But just imagine, Broderick stood on this end right here, and Terry stood at that end right there. And they both looked at each other. Had to pause there for a minute because, you know, it's one of those things where even though this happened in the 1800s, and I'm sitting right here in the last known duel spot, I'm in the middle of the firing line that they both were in. And again, after watching Hamilton and seeing that dueling with pistols was legal back then, legal. Now it's illegal with all this protest going on and all these, you know, movement about protecting people. Back then, all we had to do was, hey, Trump, I challenge you to a duel. And you had to do it, or you were marked a coward. These two men had political issues, political differences, and they had to settle it by shooting each other. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Even back then, the world that we live in is crazy. That's crazy. To me, it's crazy. And to, who's this? This is Taylor right here. So for Broderick to lose his life, he got shot here on the spot, had to be rushed to San Francisco, again, by the Venice Pier. There's a house there called the Broderick House. And that's where he died. He died right there in the house. Even though I'm standing in Daly City, on Daly City property, San Francisco had a lot to do with this death of Broderick. And he was considered a hero. They gave him a hero's burial and was buried up in Lone Mountain. Lone Mountain, if you guys know where Lone Mountain is where USF is right now. So I'm pretty sure they moved his body somewhere here in Daly City, or in Colma to be at that. But again, to think about two men arguing. And again, if you watch Hamilton, and you know, this is the reason why I'm here today, is because Hamilton kind of like hit a little close to where this last duel site is. It's just one of those things where you're like, wow, that actually really did happen. And a lot of people would always say, you know, if Hamilton was still around, he would have done a lot for the world. He would have. World would have been, the history would have been different. Even if Broderick was still around, he would have done a lot for the world. But for these two men to argue over differences and then to just say, you know what, forget it, I'm done, let's just fight over it. That's crazy. I want to call it more cowardly, is what I call it. And yes, I'm saying coward in front of a site where someone lost their life. Well, he did lose his life here. he didn't lose he lost his life in San Francisco. But it's just like these thugs that goes around with guns and shooting people because they want someone's cell phone or they want someone's car. That's cowardly. To me, that's cowardly. If you're gonna have to take a gun because, you know, a gun is here to protect yourself, to defend yourself from other people who has a gun or who wants to mess with you and your family. That's what a gun's for. To me, that's what it is. If you're not a law enforcement, if you're not a cop, if you're not any of those security guards that has to carry a gun, if you're not any of that, and you carry a gun because you want to be a thug over everyone else, you're a coward. It was a firework. I know you heard that. Sounded like a gun. Hear it again. That's creepy right there. That's creepy. Yep, every time I come here, there's always something different. That was the sound of fireworks. At least I hope it was. 4th of July ended weeks ago. But again, this is the Duel site, the last official Duel site. And if you were Terry and you stood right here, pointed your gun towards Broderick and shot him, didn't even hesitate, shot him. And if you were Broderick and you were standing on this end and you took your gun but wasn't fast enough to pull the trigger and got shot by Terry, look in that direction. It's a little scary to me, but it's part of history, and we are fortunate enough here in the Bay Area, here in San Francisco and Daly City, to have the site of the last Duel, well, the last Duel site, official Duel site. And if you guys watch Hamilton and saw the way Hamilton died, I would suggest coming out here to try to get somewhat of that feeling. I would. Crazy, right? Crazy. But that's going to do it for today's vlog. A nice little adventure. Decided to come back and revisit the Broderick Terry Duel site, the last official Duel site that the United States said, yes, go ahead, take your anger out on each other, take your pistols, shoot each other. You can see both of them, Terry and Broderick, right over there. And again, it's just hard for me to imagine that two men would actually argue, and it still goes on. It's more political. You know, you have Trump with his little Twitter thing and decides that he wants to tweet every angry thing that he has. Would have made it a lot easier if we can just say, again, Trump, I challenge you to a duel. It'd make it a lot easier. It would. But I think you couldn't challenge a president back then to a duel. There'd have to be some kind of political party. So president or vice president, I'm not sure if you could have challenged him to a duel back in the 1800s. But if Trump wasn't the president, guaranteed a lot of people, even the women nowadays, would challenge him to a duel. And I guarantee some women are probably a better shot than he is. So, but the movie Hamilton, or me watching the movie Hamilton, a lot of you guys watched it on stage, which, you know, was again pretty good also. But watching the movie Hamilton made me realize we have the last official Duel site here in Daly City. And back then, this was part of San Francisco, so, you know, this was part of a San Francisco. Oh no, actually, it was illegal in San Francisco to have a duel. That's what it was. So they had to go outside of San Francisco, which is Daly City, which is here, so they can have their duel here. Because here in Daly City, it wasn't illegal. But the death of Broderick was so barbaric that the United States decided, let's end all sorts of duel whatsoever. And it still happened. It still happened after this, but it was more happened underground. It happened where people didn't realize people were doing it. So it happened. You just didn't know people were doing it. So that was, you know, thing. And again, it still happens now. I'm pretty sure it still happens now, and you don't really know it happens. You know, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm sure it does. But I'm back in San Francisco. I'm going to continue the vlogs the rest of the week. And if you guys like that Virginia City vlog, let me know. Let me know. I really liked the vlog that I was in Virginia City. There's some golfers way up in the back over there, and I'm looking at them just to make sure that they're golfers. But yeah, if you guys don't know the history of Virginia City, look it up. San Francisco wouldn't have been San Francisco if it wasn't for the Comstock lode in Virginia City. But definitely look that up. Definitely check it out. But more vlogs to come this week. Thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here from the Broderick Terry Duel site, the last official Duel site, United States. Thanks for watching, guys. Vlog's ended. Go in peace. When I go home, I always analyze these videos for sound and any sort of ghostly figures that might appear. Try coming here at night. Maybe I'll do that one night. Maybe one night I'll take this nice long walk from the parking lot down there, make my way over here. Maybe one night, but not tonight.
I made this.